Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. This week, we are walking in God's victory, the victory of Jesus. And that means we're walking with Him side by side in unity, walking with Him throughout our day. And walking with Jesus depends on how we deal with sin and temptation in our lives. Sin gives Satan a foothold. It's like you're walking and you just hold his hand just a little bit. Gives a foothold, a place to enter into your life. Maybe a little bit of gossip, talking about someone behind their back, or not doing something that God wants you to do, that you know you should do, or lying, a little white lie, or thoughts that you dwell on that might be lustful, or bitterness, or unforgiveness in your heart. So many different things. And if we hold on to them, Jesus will not be walking with us. David in Psalm number 9, verse 5, tells us how to deal with sin and temptation. You say, Pastor Willie, this is not encouraging. I want something positive. But listen, if you don't deal with sin and temptation in your life, everything else is just fluff. I'm getting to the depths of having an encouraged life. And that is to deal with the dark as well as the light. Because if you deal with the dark, then the light can shine through and you will be encouraged. This is what David says in Psalm chapter 9, verse number 5, talking about God. You have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. Listen to those words. Rebuked. That means a sharp disapproval. Destroyed. That means nothing left. Blotted out. That means it's gone. God deals with sin in a radical way. He destroys it. And this is a model for us, how we should deal with sin and temptation. We should deal with it as if it's a radioactive poison that will kill us. You cannot toy with it. You can't play with it. You can't ignore it. You can't just have a little bit. The reason is that God does not treat sin that way at all. And how can two walk together if they're not agreed on how to walk? So He will not be able to walk with you. Maybe you struggle with something. If that's true, you bring it to Him. You don't hide it. Someone once told me an illustration. The man had a cleaning company, and he hired someone to clean the rugs in a house. Then when he went upstairs in one of the rooms, he noticed dirt on the floor after the man had already cleaned. And he brought the man upstairs and said, "What's that on the floor?" The man said, "Dirt." And he said, "Okay, as long as you and I agree that that is dirt and has to come out, we can work together." And that's the way God is with sin. If we acknowledge it, we say, "God, I'm struggling in this area. I'm struggling with forgiving this person, God." God can work with you. God will help you. But any time we hold on to something and we don't bring it to the surface, we have unconfessed sin, we will not be able to walk in victory. Jesus made it crystal clear how serious sin was in Matthew 5:29. And I encourage you to meditate on that verse at the end of the video. Jesus said, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. Cut it out. He wasn't talking literally, but He wanted us to know how serious sin is in God's eyes. So walking with God in God's victory is possible, but it requires us to treat sin just the way God treats sin. So be encouraged today and walk in victory. Rebuke the enemy. And you can also be an encouragement to someone else today. So God